Perfect. So welcome. Thank you for taking time for the interview today. The first part of the interview is about German and Hungarian stereotypes and prejudices. So just feel free to say whatever you think. There's no right or wrong answers. I would say before we start off with the questions, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so my name is Mercédesz and I'm 24 years old. I am a Hungarian, so I live in Pécs, which is a very beautiful city, I think. I like watching TV series. I'm really passionate about TV series. That is kind of like one of my hobbies because I'm currently watching 15 at the same time, so...
That's crazy.
It is. But I also like reading books and stuff, so it's pretty basic.
So are you ready? Can we start with the questions?
Yes, we can start with the questions.
Perfect. So my first question would be, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about Germany?
Okay. Beer. Traditional clothes, you know, Trachten. Party, because you like to party a lot. Many festivals, many holidays, good cars, high living standards, financial security, pensioners. You have a lot of pensioners there who love to travel. And the TV series Cobra Elf and the film Fuck You Goethe, right?
Yes. And have you ever been to Germany before?
Yes, I've been to Germany before, 4 times, I think. I've been in Kimming because of an internship. I've also been in München and in Köln, Kassel, Paderborn. I lived in Bad Lippspringe. Yeah, and I've been in Ulm and Stuttgart at the airport, actually.
So, before you went to Germany for the first time, did you have any expectations?
Not really. I did not have any expectation. Well, I thought just that everything is gonna be green and you know, you're gonna have a lot of cows and farm animals. And I thought it's gonna be very different from what I got used to at my home. But it turned out, you know, that you have kind of like the same stuff as we do, but in a different way.
You obviously then had contact to German people before.
Yeah, yes.
Did you have any expectations on how German people would be, like their manners or the way they act, the way they look? Did you have any expectations before meeting?
Yes, well, I thought that every German is extremely punctual.
Okay.
Which actually turned out to be false.
Yeah.
Everybody is blonde and has blue eyes, and that you love order, you know, you love rules and stuff.
Based on any experience or like a personal knowledge, how would you describe a typical German person?
Okay, so a typical German, sometimes they are blonde, sometimes they are brown. So they have brown hair. But I think this description is actually not accurate because of the multiculturality nowadays. This person loves soccer, drinks lots of beer, is a perfectionist, who wants to be the best. That is why this person knows what is the best, and this person is kind, has high level of tolerance.
Okay.
And if something is not good, they go back to the store and complain. That was my personal experience, because you complained a lot about stuff. And this person is pretty straightforward, I think, has a special kind of elegance, and travels a lot. And I know the Germans are Olympic standard garbage sorters.
Oh, yeah. And in comparison to that, What would you describe a typical Hungarian person?
Oh my goodness, a typical Hungarian person has brown hair and brown eyes. Not always, but that's kind of like a common thing in Hungary, I think, maybe. Worries a lot, is pessimistic.
Really?
Yeah, we are pessimistic. We sometimes can be rude because we are straightforward as well, and can't speak any languages, just Hungarian. Has a strange humor, eats a lot of house-cooked meals, and smile. When we smile, there should be a reason for that, because without reason, we don't smile. Goes a lot to thermal baths, I think. We always eat what we ordered. We eat all of the things from our plates because
Don't
we
have any
paid for
leftovers.
it. Yeah, typical Hungarian thing is when you go to a road trip, then you bring sandwiches and you eat the sandwiches.
So, is there anything about German culture that you find kind of strange or especially interesting?
Yes, the obsession of Weisswurst. That is incomprehensible for me. I tried it and I still don't like it, so I don't know what's the big deal in Weisswurst. Your gastronomy is pretty interesting for me. It's much more different than Hungarian.
And what do you think could be a common belief that Germans might have about Hungarian people?
Oh gosh. I think they think that we eat a lot of paprika,
Ah,
which is very funny because we use a lot of paprika, but we don't use that much, I think. And we eat everything with paprika, and that we swear a lot and pessimistic and complain about everything, which is true. And Hungarians are always cold. Some foreigners have observed that the heating in our homes and in our workplaces is usually kept at the higher temperature than, for example, in Germany. And it is always strange for them, I think. And I met with a German guy who thought that every Hungarian has a horse. And then he said that he thinks that every man in Hungary has mustaches. Okay, why do you think that? Well, it's just a stereotype what I, pictured in my head, like
Yes,
a
yes.
horse riding Hungarian with a mustache.
Have you personally ever been confronted with any prejudices because of your cultural background?
No, I think not really.
So that would be it for part one, actually. Part two, we will have a look at the 10 dimensions model. And I try to kind of bring those 10 dimensions into more of a relatable context. So you can just give your own personal opinion about it. So first we will look at the dimension environment. Looking at your social environment, do you tend to want to control everything around you? Or are you kind of more of a harmony-seeking person?
That is a very great question, actually. I love micromanaging. I
Okay.
love to know, what is going on, but at the same time, I try to seek harmony as well. And it depends on my mood. I am actually always the spokesperson when it comes to public speaking, which is funny because I hate public speaking. And yeah, maybe I love to control everything. I don't know.
The second dimension would be time. How do you personally approach time management? For example, if you have to do like a lot of tasks within a short amount of time, how would you handle it?
I'm very good at time managing, actually. I would write a to-do list and I would do it them, in order. And I've never been late with an assignment, for an example. And I am actually pretty great at organizing. So
Okay, perfect. So you like to have a certain structure when it comes to your time management.
yeah.
The next dimension would be action. And I came up with the example, if you're working on a project with a partner, what is more important to you? To get along well with your partner throughout the working process, or the actual outcome of the process? Like relationship versus outcome.
I think both is important in a way, but if the other person doesn't like me, that is his or her problem and not mine. We need the job done, and that is all. Everybody need to do their part, I think, and if you get along well, that is fantastic. You need to have a good working environment, when you hate your colleagues, then you will hate your job, actually. I think my boss should, like me, and my boss should know that I'm good at my job.
Okay.
And I get the job done and expect the same from my colleagues, no feelings attached, but they need to get the job done as well.
The next dimension would be communication. Imagine you find out a good friend told a lie to you. How would you react in this situation of conflict?
Actually, I had that situation before.
Okay.
It was pretty bad because it was one of my good friends at work who lied to my face, actually. And at first, I ignored it. And then when she, did it again, I confronted her. Okay. And it was a pretty big argument, actually. I'm a pretty straightforward person, and I tell you if I don't like you, and I tell you if I don't agree with you.
The next dimension would be space. And I chose to talk a little bit about social media. Like, how do you feel about sharing maybe private information on the internet?
Well, on Facebook, for example, I share a lot of photos and quotes. And, well, I share information that is important for me. But for example, on Instagram, I don't share very personal information because I don't think that is a platform for that. I don't know why. I think Facebook is much personal for me.
The next dimension would be the dimension of power. So imagine you're working in a big company. Is it okay for you as an employee to publicly challenge your boss or like put yourself on the same position as your boss? Is that okay for you?
It depends on the challenge, I think. But I think it is better to go private in the situations. If my boss says something, wrong, then I would tell him or her in private that was not good and stuff. But humiliation in front of the others is another thing. That is not the best way to go, I think. There is a quote actually that I just heard the other day. It says, never destroy anyone in public when you can accomplish the same thing in private. I think that is harsh, but I am actually okay with a friendly competition with the boss.
Okay, but you kind of respect a hierarchy in a system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. Because I think when you do, a little friendly challenge, then there should be the respect,
The next dimension would be individualism. You as a person, do you personally identify more with yourself as an individual or more as a part of a group?
I think I am an individual because I don't belong to any group. I hate labeling things, but I also label people like everybody else does, which is crazy, I think. I know who I am. There is no one else like me, actually. I am an individual. Nobody talks like me. Nobody looks like me. So I am me. Groups, things, body shape, body size, hair color doesn't define me, I think. I am a very complex human being, and I am unique.
What about competitiveness? What is more important to you when working in a team? Your personal success or to get along well with your teammates and cooperate with them?
I would say cooperate with them because, I like to get the job done. I don't care about my personal success that much. But if the work environment is good, then you would not hate your job, you would like your job. And it is important to get along with the others, I think.
The ninth dimension would be structure. And I feel like the current situation really, really changed everyone's daily life. How do you cope with change?
I think I cope pretty good with change. Change can be actually a good thing, and it also could mean something bad. If we don't change, we don't grow. And if we don't grow, we aren't really living. So there is good in every bad situation, I think. The positive effect, actually, of the pandemic is that the families are getting closer, and neighbors who never spoke to one another are now helping each other, which is actually pretty good to see because, it's good to see, the goodness of the world, I think.
Okay, so you're quite flexible when it comes to change.
Yes, I am.
Okay, the last dimension and the last question of today's interview would be, when approaching a new task, do you rely on logical thinking, or would you more work on your previous experiences?
Both, I think.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I think you need to think logical, but at the same time, you need to rely on your previous experiences as well. You learn from every situation, and if you did something bad in your previous experience, then you can change it. So I am a person who know what I did bad, and I try to learn from that, and I try to do things otherwise in a logical way, actually, I think.
Okay, perfect. So you kind of do the combination of both, like logical thinking and experiences, and just get the best out of both. That's awesome.
Yeah, the best
Okay.
of both worlds.
Yes, Hannah Montana.
Yeah.